Hello everyone, I'm your host Melanie Renault alongside my co-host Joe Steiner.
Coming up on the show, a new app introduced by Fast, digital music entering Windsor's music scene, and no concert planned for Frost Week. The 30 News starts now.
In the environmental sector, a University of Windsor student is seeking to bring urbanized farming to Windsor. KMVD reports.
Every time I had a plate of food, I thought, where did this come from? I was fascinated by it. I was like, how did the food that's on my plate get to my plate? And we don't really think about that. People don't really think about that ever. It's just food on your plate, right?
Sustainably grown food might be coming to Windsor if Dane Fader has his way. The 20-year-old environmental studies student at the University of Windsor wants to grow his idea of urban environmental farming. Fader's urban farm idea is to incorporate food waste composting as a way to recapture nutrients that are being landfilled in the Windsor-Essex area, and use that compost to sustainably grow food. Fader notes most produce in local supermarkets is imported from Mexico and California, which puts a strain on the environment.
We're looking at a population of 10 billion by 2050. We're already struggling to feed 7.1, 7.2 billion. How are we going to feed 3 billion more people? Right? So these are really, really important questions. And we have to figure out how to do that locally because we need to produce food for the people where the people are.
According to Statistics Canada, Canada imported $5.98 billion of fresh fruit in 2016, which was 3.9% higher from the previous year and up 40.1% over the last 5 years. University of Windsor professor and sustainability advocate Tanya Basok says that the issue stems from a lack of sustainability.
Industrial farming depends on chemically produced pesticides, chemical fertilizers, and those produce the pollution of waters, air pollution. They rely on petroleum products. Petroleum production results in the emission of greenhouse gases. So they destroy biodiversity by exporting products from faraway regions. We also produce greenhouse emissions related to the transportation of products. So these are some of the problems that are endemic to the industrial food system.
Initiatives like Fader's Farm could resemble Zale to Bachman's vertical farm in the old Forester High School on Windsor's west side.
Indoor vertical farming is the technology. It's sustainable. It's very, very sustainable. And some of the ways are, it's the reduction of the carbon footprint in food productions. The second thing is reduction of the carbon footprint moving the food. Typically in North America, actually around the world, food travels 1,500 miles. Typically, you think about it from California to New York City, Florida to Seattle, Mexico to Canada. In Canada, you can walk into any food store and you'll see where the stuff is coming from. You look, it's traveled all that distance.
Maureen Lucas, the senior entrepreneurship mentor at the University of Windsor's Epicenter, is working with Fader and says that ideas revolving around energy, land, and community need to be reinforced by a unique idea.
But to have a really good business idea, it should be unique. It should be different from what's out there already, and it should solve a different problem. So oftentimes, people will start a business idea, and as they move through it, they think, that's already being done. So I'm going to pivot, is what they call it, a little bit, and go off to a little bit of an angle that's going to allow me to have an idea that truly is unique.
So, with fresh ideas like Fader's urban reuse concept and to Bachman's vertical farm, combined with the long-standing food industry in Windsor-Essex, the future of agriculture here may be very green indeed. KMVD, The30.ca.
Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences introduced a new app to University of Windsor students this semester. The app is meant to be used as a tool for FAST students throughout their university careers. So far, it has been met with success among students.
Humans of FAST and looking at the stories of some of my fellow students at the school.
I certainly do wish I had the app in my first year because, like I said, it's convenient for students of the arts, humanities, and social sciences because it has everything that we are concerned about as students at our disposal right in our pockets.
Mark McWhinney is a fourth-year political science student who has been using the app since its release.
The app itself is really well organized. It's easy to access everything that you would find on the U Windsor website without the headache of navigating through all the confusing menus. Everything is right here in the sidebar at your fingertips.
McWhinney was featured on the Humans of Fast section of the app. An initiative of the app's designer Tony Vo was to interview and feature students of various programs under the Faculty of Arts, Humanities, and Sciences.
The purpose for the app is essentially for academic and student success. So some of the features that we want to include, but not limited to, our students can be able to access all of their department or their school information. So you get to see your department or your director of whatever program you're in. You get to see the undergraduate secretary. You get to talk to academic advisors on there. You can book appointments with the general academic advisors, career advisors, international student advisors, as well as writing support advisors.
Vo is also the Advising Initiatives Coordinator for the Dean's Office. Originally, the learning specialist wanted FAQ-style videos to be posted on the UWindsor website.
I told her that a lot of students may not go on the website because everyone prefer just having it on their phone. So because I used to work at the Student Success Center and they develop an app through Guidebook for their Head Start and Welcome Week, I told her to just use the same platform but just gear it towards UWindsor FOSS for UWindsor FOSS students.
The former club's platform called The Hub will be expiring after the fall semester. Vo says that his app is separate from the UWSA, but they may look into developing a similar system for student groups in the future.
I do have a Senate meeting with them soon about the app themselves because they're really, really intrigued with the Humans of FOSS feature of the app.
To be featured on the app, please get in contact with Tony Vo. I'm Melanie Renaud, The30.ca. Provincial Parliament has denied Windsor's application for a new deal under the Affordable Housing Act. Members of the community who engage with the homelessness issue, like Windsor West MPP Lisa Gretzky, share their disappointment given the full capacity of the city's shelters. Luke Peters reports.
In September, the Ontario Legislature approved $200 million in funding for affordable housing. The City of Windsor didn't get a single penny.
In terms of why Windsor would need the money, as you can tell on any given day, this room can be absolutely filled to capacity with people that do genuinely need that help.
The funding that 47 cities had applied for saw $19 million go to Toronto. Why didn't Windsor get any money?
So the government didn't really elaborate on why we didn't receive any funding. When you have almost half of the money going to one city, it makes other areas question why they weren't able to get some of the funding. $200 million to most people seems like a lot, but when you're talking about the number of people that are experiencing homelessness, $200 million is a drop in the bucket, especially when you see the numbers of those that are homeless rising on a regular basis.
Darryl Fournier is currently homeless. He shares his experience with us and we respect his request to not appear on camera.
You know, it's not like a situation that people only want to lay down somewhere to rest their head and, try to get some sleep and beat the cold at night. It's not by coincidence or by chance, that people choose to be out there. It's economic times and just the way the situation is,
Fournier is Aboriginal. The Indigenous population is overrepresented among those surveyed as homeless. Estimates are as high as 33.5% for the homeless that are Indigenous, while they only make up about 5% of the total population. Shelters like the Downtown Mission are frequently full. They could use more money to create more spaces.
That money was earmarked for Youth of Ontario, and, we got nothing. So it's very disappointing. I think as an agency, the Downtown Mission, we just opened up a youth and family shelter here at 875 Olette. Without government support, it's going to be increasingly more difficult to address the issues.
The waiting list for Windsor's low-income housing can be up to 3,000 individuals at any given point, and this leaves many experiencing homelessness with no options.
I've seen lots of homeless, drug addicts, lots of needles, you name it.
Some people like Gerald Smith own vacant houses that are being used by those seeking shelter, supplies, and a safe space.
Stole the plumbing, the electrical, everything is gone. It has become worse. I had never seen it like this for my 50 years living here.
The Delta Chi fraternity did their yearly camp out to raise awareness about homelessness and remind students about the issue the city faces.
We're not trying to emulate homelessness. What we do by living in the shack is not even 1/10 of what actual homelessness is. It's just to bring awareness. It's more of a brash symbol so people see it and kind of can get the message more easily.
While it may not accurately portray the conditions of homelessness, This stunt helps the fraternity collect donations of food and clothing for the downtown mission. This is Luke Peters, and I'm signing off with the30.ca.
Isn't the only sound Windsorites are hearing these days, as digital music production ignites the city's music scene. Joe Steiner has the story.
Windsor musicians are putting their instruments to the side in exchange for computers as digital music production ushers the city into a new era of sound. What you're hearing right now is the song Gemini by Dan St. Amour, a 21-year-old music producer from Windsor who made this track entirely on his computer. Artists digitally create music by using software like Ableton and FL Studios. This form of production is genre-defying. With a seemingly infinite amount of sounds at a user's disposal, these composers have the freedom to make just about anything they want, from electronic to classical. Local artists like Dan are doing just that.
I think I started producing music just because I liked the control of it. Because I was in jazz band in high school and concert band and stuff, but we always had to play other people's music, and I thought once I'd get home and get behind the piano and start just making up my own stuff, I'd be like, why would I want to play anyone else's? I don't know, it's just so much more fun to create your own sound and have credit for wow, I made this from nothing instead of just playing something on a piece of paper.
He thinks that the city's music scene is a lot of undiscovered talent.
Windsor has a crazy music culture, and it's kind of really under the radar, which is the thing that's insane about it. There's so many good bands, so many good solo acts. There's a lot of music, heart in Windsor, I think.
Local electronic music producer Stefano Lasvita, who goes by the stage name Avius, believes that the city's music culture is a product of its geographic location.
I think we're in a really unique position geographically because a lot of people forget that we're right across from Detroit. And that's something I'd like to see us kind of capitalize more on. I think if Windsor wants to grow more, we have to kind of actualize the talent that's within us, as well as not be afraid to kind of cross borders and collaborate.
These artists use Spotify, SoundCloud, and Bandcamp to distribute their music over the internet, allowing them to reach a global audience. Fog Lounge is one of the city's hottest locations for live music. Owner and operator Tom Lucier has witnessed Windsor's music landscape transform since the bar first opened nearly 14 years ago.
The electronic music scene was big when we opened. We didn't book a lot of it, but there were a lot of people, getting into it. I'm seeing more of it. I'm seeing people I would never expect to do electronic styles of music doing it. So it's growing. For sure, growing is an understatement.
While traditional music making still thrives in Windsor, the accessibility of digital software is breathing new life into the city's music scene.
I'm really impressed with how many people have learned this really complicated, trade, I would say. Because it doesn't just have to be for their band, it could be for any band that needs help with something like this.
One thing is for sure, Windsor's music landscape is changing, and it's changing fast. Digital music production is constantly evolving through its versatility and potential for collaboration. The lingering question is, what will it sound like next? I'm Joe Steiner, The30.ca. Are sororities at UWindsor not welcoming to people of color? An African-American sorority from Detroit seems to think so. Naomi Belay has been following the story and now joins me on set. So, Naomi, what are the leaders of the Detroit sorority saying?
Joe, members of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority say that some students may have not felt welcome due to a lack of diversity. This is what Tonya Jenkins from the Zeta Phi Beta sorority told me.
We did find that most of the sororities that was present on the Windsor campus was basically one ethnic race or background. And many of the African Americans may have felt like, well, I did so much as belong.
Stories posted to the30.ca.
Thank you, Naomi. The TEDx University of Windsor conference takes place Sunday, January 28th, and the executive team is hard at work preparing for it. Selina McCallum has the story.
TEDx University of Windsor will take place at the Engineering Building on Sunday, January 28, 2018.
As the theme for the January conference is Diamonds from Pressure, and 8 speakers will be chosen by the club members to speak about a time where they felt pressured.
Diamonds from Pressure signifies that there's gems that come about when we're put under stress and when we're in an uncomfortable situation. So I was hoping that TEDx University of Windsor this year would harvest a conversation along the lines of that. So where have the gems come out in our community as a result of tremendous pressure?
The 30 News asked students on campus what their TED Talk would be about.
I don't know, probably just student life and I guess how it's different from high school, like the transition.
To explain that it's not the fact that not everybody's meant for an education, but some people, they just can't do it, because of the learning system.
If I had to do a TED Talk, it would be on climate change because it's such an important topic and such a big field that not a lot of people are aware of.
The slogan for TED, which stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design, is ideas worth spreading, which means they encourage people to share knowledge with each other for a greater cause. TEDxU Windsor's Vice President Denise Mirza, a fourth-year biology student, is thrilled by the reaction so far.
Seems like we have a big fan base right now. A lot of people have been messaging us and talking about, I really want to come, I want to get involved. So that's really exciting on us, but it also puts a lot of pressure on us because we want to make sure our event's going to be flawless.
VP Finance for TEDxU Windsor, Sarfraz Gill, says that they are working day and night to organize the venue, arrange catering, and get sponsors.
Our timeline right now is very strict and we're really in a time crunch right now, so as we speak, we're currently sending out applications, as I said, for sponsorships, and we're going over the speaker applications and also trying to recruit members to our team as well, whether it be executive positions or committee positions, just to help out with the overall planning of the event. So we're actually we're actually stressed for time right now, and hopefully we can take advantage of that and bring about the best conference possible.
I'm Selina McCallum, The30.ca.
Reporter Kobe Stronach joins us outside of the UWSA office to report on the concert that didn't happen for Frost Week. Kobe?
Thanks, Joe. Well, we've been following this story since Frost Week when there was no concert. And while we investigated, we found that VP of Student Services Sarah Nordine promised that there'd be a concert during Frost Week. Check out this clip here.
So we decided instead of rushing to plan it for September, we would defer it to the winter. So we would have a Frost Week concert instead of a Welcome Week concert.
After following up in the new year, after there was no concert planned for Frost Week, Nordine emailed and replied that she'd never said that there'd be a Frost Week concert. We'll keep you in the loop for any more updates, but that is what we have so far. We'll keep following the story.
Thank you, Kobe. Really makes me wonder what happened to the budget set aside for Frost Week. But that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching The 30 News, and we'll see you next time.